imagine the excitement for the disciples and the people as they received the loaves and fish that Jesus was multiplying before their very eyes. I cannot imagine what it would have been like to feast on that. And you can almost picture as the disciples are going back through from the baskets out to the people, those reaching up and say, "Can I have another fish? Oh, can I have another loaf? It's only my third." And then someone else piping up, "Yeah, and could I get a recipe for that bread?" And then a fourth saying, and those baskets, I really want to know where they were made. Can't you picture Jesus as the disciples start getting stuck among the first 500, finally saying, "Come on guys, look at the 4,500 out there. We got to take it and take it to those who haven't had a bite yet." And yet that's the very thing that we are caught up in all the time. We are there with our own 500 who've been eating bread and fish from Jesus all their lives for many years, while there's people in the community who are not in our pews. I'm talking about the unreached next door that God is calling us to befriend. As we think about those individuals who will never walk in our church doors, we begin to see that there are unreached people groups that God has brought to America as refugees, international students, immigrants, and even tourists. Thinking about those 4,500 people that haven't yet eaten puts my mind right to the around 4,500 unreached people groups around the world that have no knowledge of the gospel, or at least less than 2% Christians among them. That's a heap of people. In fact, it grows to about 7,000 if you think of what's on both sides of a nation's border. Those are individuals. In fact, there's 818 that have never had any Christian group go and share with them, with their own unique language and culture, waiting for somebody who knows Jesus to come and share the living bread. As I visit different churches to talk about these things, we lay out cards of the unreached people groups that we have at our website, reachtheworldnextdoor.com. And we look at them and pray for them and try to think, who is it around us that looks like them, that is them, but we simply haven't reached out to yet. They are Buddhists who do not know that there is a God who is interested in every aspect of their lives and wants to help them. They are Muslims who don't fully understand who Jesus is and what he did there on the cross. They are Hindus who have to understand more fully the great controversy that swirls around the gods and the spirits they know of, but need to understand the truth behind it all. These are individuals that you and I have the privilege to reach out and befriend. As it begins to sink into our conscience that there are so many people who've never had a chance to know the Jesus we've known, his love will stir us to begin to watch for them wherever we go, praying for divine appointments and opportunities to make a friend. It can happen just in a grocery store as you listen in to somebody who is speaking a different language. "What's that beautiful language you're speaking?" we can ask. And then as we get to know them, we can ask, "Tell me about your country back home. What do you miss? I'm sure it's hard to be far away from those you love and the things you enjoyed." And there, we can then make sure that we exchange contact information so we can follow up on what God is trying to do in their lives. I know personally there has been no greater joy in my life than to share Jesus with those who have never had an opportunity to know him. And I know you want to do that more too. In our Reach the World Next Door training, in the lesson Befriend the Unreached, you will gain more confidence, more understanding of how to get out there past the 500 and among those who need to receive the bread of life. You'll learn from people like Dan Cerns and Julia Carey, and you will find ways that you can be effective for the glory of God. So, fellow bread eater, you with your basket full of loaves and fishes of what God has done for you, Jesus invites you to train for missions by doing missions. Let's go befriend the unreached next door.